Our bones aren't just structural body parts that give us shape. They're also storage systems for a lot of personal information like our age, sex, and ancestry. And one thing scientists have been dying to know is where we came from. Where did our species first evolve? And according to this study, those two shapes can tell us where our ancestors first evolved. Tall and narrow rib cages are great for walking upright. Short and wide rib cages are great for climbing and brachiating, swinging around in the trees. So, which one do we have? Well, the answer might surprise you. The researchers think that the reason why all human rib cages converge on that short and wide shape as we age is because of the way we give birth. You see, babies are born with tall and narrow rib cages, but pregnant bellies are round. So the rib cage needs to be able to expand in all directions to accommodate a growing baby. This means that even though natural selection favors short and wide rib cages, there's a trade-off. If your rib cage is too short and wide, you can't make enough room for a baby to grow, so there's an evolutionary compromise. Well, a new study says our bones hold the answer, and it all has to do with the shape of our rib cages. The researchers think that this might be one of the reasons why humans take so long to give birth. Our ancestors may have originally come from a small population that lived in East Africa, around the shores of Lake Victoria. This would explain why all human rib cages end up looking the same as adults. They descended from a recent common ancestor. We all have the same heritage. We are all related. But when they looked at babies, they found that all human babies are born with tall and narrow rib cages. Who knows what other secrets our bones are hiding? So why don't adults have these efficient walking rib cages? That's because they spend their whole lives hanging out in trees, so having a short and wide rib cage is more advantageous. But humans don't really do that, so our rib cages shift. As we move to a more terrestrial life, natural selection favored adults with shorter, wider rib cages since that's more advantageous for walking. Well, it could have something to do with breathing. It's me and you're watching this channel. When it comes to figuring out the origins of our species, we tend to focus on the fossil record. But as this new study shows, there's a ton of information to be gleaned from living people too. Specifically, the shape of our rib cages. See, our rib cages come in two flavors, tall and narrow or short and wide. When the researchers measured 54 adults from around the world, they found that everyone had a rib cage that was somewhere between short and wide and tall and narrow. Babies can't breathe very well on their own. Their lungs aren't developed enough to bring in lots of air. So they rely on a special breathing technique called diaphragmatic breathing. This is where the diaphragm, a large dome-shaped muscle, moves down, sucking air into the rib cage, which expands in all directions. It's not very efficient at moving the body forward. So as humans grow up, their rib cages change shape to accommodate different breathing patterns. In primates other than humans, infants also have tall and narrow rib cages, but their rib cages stay that way as they get older. But wait, if everyone is born with tall and narrow rib cages, why don't we see any variation in adult rib cage shape across populations? What's more, this kind of natural selection can only happen in populations that are small and isolated. Ultimately, this study shows just how much information our bones hold and how they can help us understand our evolutionary past. Speaking of which, there's a lot more to learn about the human body, like how it works and what causes disease. Thanks for watching.